Well, Mark, it's a disappointing defeat against South Shields this afternoon. How do you reflect on the performance?
Um, it's difficult to criticise lads who have given us everything today. You know, I've thought long and hard about what team should start, and I left out a couple of players who've been doing really well. I wanted to frustrate South Shields, and we knew that they would have a lot of the ball early on, and I wanted us to keep solid and not allow them many chances. Yes, they can have the ball, but we don't want to allow them to get chances. And to their credit, they did create a few chances. Callum did well, um, but something we worked on Thursday, uh, give them the first goal really, and it's about committing to. If we're going to work on things and we're going to tactically do them, we have to all commit to them. And the plan was to stop them playing out from the back when we could. And a goal kick is an ideal time to just force bodies forward and not allow them out. And it made them kick long, and we comfortably would win anything they kick long today. But then we had to win the second one as well. So when Posher headed it into a central area, I'd overloaded that area today to protect us and to allow them to not only get first contact, but it was a comfortable contact, and then it was a set to a player who just put it in a gap. And we should have been around that ball. When Posher wins the first header, it should have been us who gets on that ball, not them. And that allowed them to get ahead, which is disappointing for all their quality of football. It was something basic from our point of view that give them the first goal. And like I say, the plan was to frustrate them, to restrict them, and then to put on the substitutes that we did that I knew would cause them problems. Um, and the second goal again, it just killed us. It was a soft goal. Both goals today were conceded is not through their quality of strikers or the movement and the runs. It's real disappointing from our point of view. Um, Even so, we showed a lot of character when we put the subs on. They showed why they're getting closer and closer to being real threats in this league. And deservedly, we had a go at them. And yeah, they had a couple of counter attacks, but on the whole, we we looked the more likely to score in the second half, even after we got the penalty and we got 2-1. So it's frustrating. The Kidderminster game here where we lost 1-0, and this game very frustrating that very good sides have just beat us by a goal. And very avoidable goals at that.
And talk to me a bit about before the game. Obviously, we know what's happened with the weather today, and obviously the delayed kickoff. Does that have any sort of throw a bit of a spanner in the works to maybe how you shape up to play against them or any
No,
pre-match stuff?
no. The referee came to us. It happened 2 years ago with these, and we were already out warming up, and the referee came. They've been delayed. We're going to delay kickoff, and we refused because we'd already started our warm up. Today, they were going to be late. Our lads, they haven't started the warm up, so it's just a case of just have a relax. We had the game on, the Liverpool Everton game, and they just watch that. So we can't use that as an excuse. You know it was something you don't want to happen, but it didn't have a factor on how we played or what we did. It was the weather certainly had a factor on how the game went, but both teams coped with that quite well. And it was an entertaining game end to end, and they came out on the right side of it. Just maybe with that little bit more experience and obviously being full time, it does give teams a slight advantage on lads who only get an hour and a half to work on things on in midweek.
And obviously, like you said, both the goals, maybe not the best goals to concede and done through forced errors. Does that just make it that little bit more frustrating when, like you say, the kid amidst the game, you're getting pipped just by this odd goal? You're not getting, you're not shipping 2 or 3 goals.
Well, hopefully the lads, the squad, the players are understanding that it is these little errors. I said a lot of them are lack of experience, but we are close to teams. We're not a million miles off, and we are scoring goals, which has always been a tough thing for Curzon to do. We've never scored loads and loads of goals, so hopefully, the players are taking on board everything we're working on. They'll continue to improve on the little details that are just bringing us out of the wrong side of these results, because I still believe we've got a good group. I still believe that there's a lot of potential in there to kick on, and certainly it's only really one game where we've underperformed and been well beaten this season, and today I think South Shields were very happy when the final whistle came that they did manage to get the win, because they were under a lot of pressure in that last 20 minutes.
And at half time, obviously, you made the substitution, Crispin coming on for Alex. Was that just precautionary of Alex, obviously not rushing him back?
Yeah, Alex he wants to play all the time, and he possibly was surprised that I said I was going to start him, but I'd rather have started him today than bring him off the bench. So, giving him 45 minutes was the plan. Bringing Crispin on into that role was the plan, and like I say, and then bringing 3 very dynamic, forward-thinking players in the 65, 70th minute. I was hoping, to be closer than I was hoping it would still be 0-0 at that point, and then we can have a go. Just wanted to be mindful of their qualities at the start of the game. But like I say, it's frustrating that we've come away with nothing again, but there's still plenty there to be positive about. That's the main thing.
And like you say, that triple substitution, obviously Brad Holmes winning that penalty and then scoring it as well. Just a word on his performance, because he looked like a real bright spark when he came on.
Yeah, Brad's one of the, Brad and Tony, I think, obviously very unlucky not to start today, but it was purely tactical. What I want them to do is to come on, have a major impact. I mean, Tony made a run where he left about 4 of their players for dead. I've never seen anyone move so fast. But both of them, Brad, been exceptional. Again, I think that's his 4th goal this season. It's positive, and they're really pushing to play every week. And that's, next week I've got a lot to think about again, going to Chester for the FA Cup. But I felt the decisions we made today just were correct. It was just little moments where we should have done better, and that's the key at the moment. It's little moments. It's concentrating the entire time and not switching off for a fraction.
And obviously, there was also some really good defensive displays in there. I think it's another week where we can't not mention Callum Hawkins and some great saves from him, and also Eze at the back. Just a word on those 2.
Yeah, well, Callum, our goalkeeper coach has said, he's going to sit him down and go through what he could have done better today. Yeah, he made some important saves, but we've got to push him to be better at what he's not quite as good at, to make him a better goalkeeper. And his attitude's first class. He'll take it on board, and we'll work very hard to make him better than what he is. We don't want just a shot stopper. We want a fully rounded keeper who makes good decisions constantly. And today there was 1 or 2 areas that he could have been better, but on the whole, he's been fantastic this season. Eze has come in. Jack Stafford's been a little bit unlucky because he got suspended, and we needed somebody in that area, so we brought Eze in. and he's done exceptionally well. Strong, very dynamic, very honest lad, who, as he's getting fitter, he's getting better. So, you know, competition, it was the only area really where we didn't have two people for a position. So now we have, you know, Jack's got to be a little bit patient. But if Eze drops his standards, we know we've got Jack in there as well. So competition all around the place is healthy. And, you know, yeah, lads are doing well. Ultimately, though, we've got to win games. That's the most important thing.
And finally, we're back. Cup action next Saturday against Chester. How are you feeling into that one?
It's just a game to look forward to. You know, we want to be in the competitions. We want to be looking up in the league, not down. We want to go to Chester and take them on. We've already been there, you know, and it was a good game. We know what Chester will get. We'll get from Chester. They know what they'll get from us. So, you know, it's a game we want to go there and put a show on and get the right result this time, get on the right side of a performance, and that'll mean keeping concentration throughout the game.
Cheers, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.